My son filmed what was going on, but when you read the newspapers... Well, of course I was here. I couldn't leave my house. I only would go out early during the day. The police were barricading here. You see, I wish I could just, go on television. I want to scream to the whole world. They said the blacks were rioting against the Jews in Crown Heights and that the Jews were fighting back. Do you know that the blacks who came to riot here were not my neighbors? No, I don't love my neighbors. I don't know my black neighbors. There's this one lady on President Street, Claire. Oh, I adore her. She's my girlfriend's next door neighbor, and I've had a manicure done at her house, and we sit in kibitz and stuff. But I don't know them. Well, I told you, we don't mingle socially because of the difference of food and religion and what have you here. But the people in this community want exactly what I want out of life. They want to live in nice homes. They all go to work. They couldn't possibly have houses here if they didn't. Generally, they have two incomes that come in. They want to send their kids to college. They want to live a nice, quiet life. They want to shop for their groceries and cook their meals and go to their Sunday picnics. They just want to have decent homes and decent lives. But the people who came to riot here were brought here by this famous Reverend Al Sharpton, which I'd like to know who ordained him. He brought in a bunch of kids who didn't have jobs in the summertime. I wish you could see the New York Times. Unfortunately, it was on page 20. They interviewed one of the black girls on Utica Avenue. She said, the guys will make you pregnant at night and in the morning not know who you are. And if you're sitting on a front stoop and it's very, very hot and you have no money and nothing to do with your time and someone says, come on, you want to riot? Well, you know how kids are. The fault lies with the police department. The police department did nothing to stop them. I was sitting here in the front of the house when bottles were being thrown, and the sergeant tells 500 policemen with clubs and helmets and guns to duck. And I said to him, you're telling them to duck? Well, what should I do? I don't have a club or a gun. Had they put it? Stopped it. The first night, this kid who came from Australia. His parents were Holocaust survivors. He didn't have to die. He worked and did a lot of research in Holocaust studies. He didn't have to die. What happened on Utica Avenue was an accident. Jewish people do not drive vans into 7-year-old boys. You want to know something? Black people do not drive vans into 7-year-old boys. Hispanic people do not drive vans into 7-year-old boys. It's just not done. People like Jeffrey Dahmer, maybe they do it. But average citizens do not go out and try to kill 7-year-old boys. It was an accident, but it was allowed to fester and to steam and all that. When you come here, do you see anything that's going on? Riots? No. But Al Sharpton and the likes of him, like Doherty, who, by the way, has been in prison, and all of a sudden he became Reverend Doherty. They once did an expose on him. But these guys live off of this. Do you understand? People are not going to give them money, contribute to their causes, unless they're out there rebel-rousing. My black neighbors? I spoke to them. They were hiding in their houses, just like I was. We were scared. I was scared. I was really frightened. I had 500 policemen standing in front of my house. Every day I had mounted police, but I couldn't leave my block. Because when it got dark, I couldn't come back in. I couldn't meet anyone for dinner. Thank God, I told you my children were all out of town. My son was in Russia. The coup was exactly the same day as the riots, and I was very upset about it. He was in Russia running a summer camp, and I was very concerned when I had heard about that. I hadn't heard from him that night the riot started. When I did hear from him, I told him to stay in Russia. He'd be safer there than here. And he was.
Woo!